Welcome to another Waypoint moment. One of the annual traditions we have is to go to a Dodgers game as a ministry. By the way, in 2 consecutive years, my oldest daughter Caitlin was able to get a ball during batting practice, which is pretty awesome. But a few years ago, we were going to the game and had invited some other ministries in the North region to come and join us. And one of the couples here in Santa Barbara was going to be picking up one of the guys down in the valley. Well, at the last minute, they had something come up and they called me and said, "Chris, we're not able to pick up Harold, but would you be able to?" And Caitlin and I were going early already, and so we said, sure, we can do that. So on the way down to drive to Dodger Stadium, we were calling Harold, but Harold was not picking up. And after repeated calls trying to get a hold of him, I got to the point where I was pretty frustrated and impatient. And it's at that time that I started thinking thoughts like, hey, pick up your phone. Don't you understand that we can't pick you up unless we know where you live at? And I started realizing that, man, my thoughts were going all over about how kind we were trying to be and yet how inconsiderate Harold was with not answering our calls. And this went on for a while. Isn't it amazing how you can have these conversations in your mind when it comes to other people without ever talking to them? Well, finally, I got a text. And the text read, "Hi, Chris. This is Harold. Sorry I didn't pick up the phone. I'm deaf." And it's at that moment that I was so convicted in my heart about how I had judged and thought all these things about Harold without knowing his situation, and that he couldn't even pick up my calls because he was deaf. Well, we ended up picking up Harold and we had a great conversation. Caitlin was writing down my thoughts and what I was trying to say to Harold, and Harold would read it and write down his response and give it back to me, and we had this great conversation all the way to the game and sat through a Dodgers game, had a great time with Harold on that day. And since then, in the last few years, we've stayed in touch and have been in touch even recently. And Harold is such a great brother. He's involved now in the deaf ministry, helping their social media during this COVID-19 time. So what's a lesson for us to learn today? Let's not judge. Let's give the benefit of the doubt, because maybe you don't know the rest of the story. So next time you're tempted to get impatient or frustrated with someone, let's hear the rest of the story. That's been another Waypoint moment. Thank you for joining us.